Hey, how's it going, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Mowing. And today we're going to be finally cutting down this yard we just did a full renovation on about a month ago. So stick around, let's see how this turned out. So as you saw from when I opened up the front door, this is the condition of the front yard as it sits today. So some of these areas that look kind of weird just from us walking around. It's Halloween coming up, so we can put out some decorations. So you can see some footprints in the yard, especially since it's been so wet out. We've been watering, 3 times a day for about 10 minutes a zone. Now, when you do your first mow, don't be surprised that, the ground's gonna be wet and you're gonna leave some track marks or whatever, but it'll be fine. You just wanna get on and get off as quickly as you can. So for today, we'll be using the Time Master. I'm gonna take the stripe kit off. This is how the front yard is, and if you look straight down, there's some parts that are a little bit thin. I have all the faith that this is all gonna fill in over the season. So this has never been touched, it's just growing. So once we get a couple mows in, this will thicken up and it'll look great. I have no concerns over this. It looks really nice. My neighbor has been asking me over and over what my process was. Back in August, this whole thing was just completely dirt. So I do have a cat, as you've seen in the videos. He comes through and he likes to use the restroom in here, so he kind of mats down some areas. But overall, I'm happy with the way this turned out. And here's how the backyard turned out. I would say it turned out very well. Back here we used the Lesco Kansas Excalibur blend, which is a different blend of turf type tall fescues. This is what I used for my renovation, so I just overseeded with the exact same grass that I used before. I don't have any complaints, as I've said plenty of times. This came in great. Getting ready to mow this thing. I'm pretty excited. So most of the dog poop should be picked up. You know how that goes. So let's go ahead and get this started and let's mow this out. So that's it for mowing the backyard. I'm happy with how it came out. I mowed this at a level B. I was thinking about dropping down to a C, but I'm glad it's with B. You don't want to cut it down too low. Since I already have the savage grass here, I just want to cut off a little bit at a time. So it kind of brings it all down to like an even level. So this is no stripe kit, this is just the mower itself. And ignore the footprints that you see here. That's just because I've been watering like crazy. So that's gonna happen when you got new grass seed down, you've been watering multiple times a day. So now let's go over to the front. We will drop this Time Master down to probably a level D. See how that looks. And then let's go mow the front. So here's how the first mow looks. First pass over the new baby grass. Like I said, there's me some little thinner areas like this, but I'm not worried about those not filling in. That'll be just fine, especially with the rhizomatic properties that this turf type tall fescue that I bought has. I just kind of put that to the test to see how it really feels in. But this is actually a level C. I was gonna go lower, but I don't need to go that low. It's still kind of tall. So let's go ahead and continue on. Here is the first part of the mow, actually first mow for the front yard. I mean, this looks phenomenal. I love the color. I love how thick it's looking right now. Just being for its first mow, kind of hard to tell on video because of the shadows and whatnot. But I mean, this came in thick. I'm happy with it. Let's kind of go over here by my neighbor so you can kind of get an idea of how it looks compared to theirs. Just get an idea. So you can kind of see the thickness of how this looks compared to where my neighbor's yard's at. They have pretty decent grass over here on both sides. But I mean, this is above and beyond what I was expecting. So let's go ahead and go do the other side now, and we will call this a wrap for mowing. And then I think we might put down some ammonium sulfate. Let's see. yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. I mean, part of the game. That's why you gotta be careful where you're turning around at and what have you. That's gonna do it for the mow. I think I got a little bit of grass seed I can sprinkle out there. I'm not sure if it'll actually take it before the, the frost comes, but we'll give it a shot. Here is the yard as it sits. This area over here was really thin. I don't know if I just kind of missed it when I was doing my seeding project, but I had some more grass seed here, a couple weeks ago. So it's a little bit shorter than the other stuff that's around it. It's gonna take a little more time for it to fill in, but as far as everything else, I mean, I'll let the video speak for itself. Yeah, this came out really good. This up here is the premium tall fescue blend from Valley Feed and Seed, which is over here locally in Wichita, and it has a couple different types of turf type tall fescue, as well as a specific variety that has rhizomatic qualities to it. So like I said, we'll test that out and we'll see how that works. We'll see if some of these little lighter areas fill in from that, or if we actually have to come through and overseed again. So now let's go ahead and get out some ammonium sulfate on here and get some more nitrogen going in this area. So as you've probably seen in other videos, this is the Stay Green 20.500 all-purpose ammonium sulfate fertilizer, which also has 24% sulfur supplement added into it. I've used this in previous videos. This is a very good ammonium sulfate. Found it local to me at Lowe's. It's usually for a pretty good deal. And this bag will cover the front and backyard. So basically I'm gonna split this in half and apply it. So let's go ahead and add this to the spreader and we'll get this out. Here's the ammonium sulfate and the Echo RB60 spreader that I have. I have it set currently to a level, I think it's a 3. And as we always say, I'll adjust accordingly as I go through. As I've told you guys in other videos, make sure you follow your lines, and that's kind of how you can kind of figure out where you need to get your fertilizer at, and so you stay on track and not overlap if you don't need to. You want to overlap a little bit, but I mean, you know what I'm saying. So pay attention to your lines, pay attention to your tracks, stripes, what have you, and go ahead and put it out. Backyard is now complete. Next step we're going to do is we're going to go around our edges and blow all of our fertilizer back into the yard where it belongs. And that, ladies and gentlemen, will conclude our first mow of the overseed and renovation project from 2024. Looks a little rough right now just because we had to go multiple directions with the spreader, and we're cutting down baby grass for the first time, so it's not necessarily happy to be walked on. So take it for what it is. I got some leaves that are in the yard. I'm not too worried about them. It's going to happen. It's fall. So, yeah, I just don't want them piling up in one area. If you got something like that, I mean, it's going to be okay. I mean, it's grass. It grows on the side of the freeway. So if it can grow on the side of the highway, why can't it grow in the front of my house? I went with a level, I think it was level C on the Time Master to cut this down. D would have been way too low, so I'm glad I went with C. We got our fertilizer out and blew back all of our fertilizer back in the yard that was on the sidewalks and the driveway. And then now all we got left to do is to run our irrigation system and let it water in the fertilizer that we had just put out. Again, the fertilizer we put out was the 20.500 ammonium sulfate with sulfur that I got from Lowe's for a pretty good deal. Covered the front and backyard in one bag. Bag covers about 10,200 square feet, and I use it for my 8,000 square feet, so I'm a little heavy, not gonna hurt anything. I'm not worried about it at all. All we have left now to do is run our water irrigation cycle and water this all in. So that's going to conclude this episode of the More You Mow. I want to thank you guys for watching. Today we covered a lot. So again, I want to thank you guys for watching. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe down below. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.